Hello and welcome to What the F*** Just Happened Today, your essential guide to the daily shock and awe in national politics. I'm Joe Amditis. Let's get to it. It's Monday, December 18th, 2023. Welcome to day 1063. Donald Trump approvingly quoted Vladimir Putin to support his unfounded claim that his 4 criminal indictments are political payback. During a Saturday campaign stop in New Hampshire, Trump claimed that Biden is a threat to democracy and said that even Vladimir Putin says that Biden's, and this is a quote, politically motivated persecution of his political rival is very good for Russia because it shows the rottenness of the American political system. Trump added, "They're all laughing at us." He also called January 6th defendants hostages and praised authoritarian leaders Viktor Orban as highly respected and Kim Jong-un as very nice. Trump is currently facing 91 criminal charges across 4 separate cases for falsifying business records in a hush money scheme, mishandling classified documents, and trying to overturn the 2020 presidential election results. There is no evidence that Biden has meddled in the prosecutions of Trump, which are taking place in 4 different federal and state courts. Meanwhile, Biden condemned Trump for his repeated statements that immigrants are poisoning the blood of America, criticizing the rhetoric as parroting Adolf Hitler. During a Sunday speech in Nevada, Trump reiterated his baseless claim that migrants were invading the United States from prisons and mental institutions in other countries, while also pledging to conduct the largest deportation operation in American history if he's elected to a second term. The term blood poisoning was used by Hitler in Mein Kampf, in which he criticized immigration and the mixing of races as an existential threat to the Aryan race. The White House said, echoing the grotesque rhetoric of fascists and violent white supremacists and threatening to oppress those who disagree with the government are dangerous attacks on the dignity and rights of all Americans, on our democracy, and on public safety. It's the opposite of everything we stand for as Americans. Trump's remarks come as congressional Republicans have stalled a foreign aid package until Democrats agree to unrelated U.S.-Mexico border security reforms. Moving on, a federal appeals court rejected an effort from Mark Meadows to move his Georgia election interference case from state court to federal court. The judges found that the events giving rise to this criminal action were not related to Meadows' official duties, adding that even if Meadows were an officer, his participation in an alleged conspiracy to overturn a presidential election was not related to his official duties. A key component of the Fulton County criminal case against Meadows involves setting up a call on January 2nd, 2021, during which Trump urged Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger to find enough votes to reverse his election loss in that state. Meanwhile, a jury ordered Rudy Giuliani to pay 2 Georgia poll workers $148 million after he falsely accused them of helping to steal the 2020 presidential election from Donald Trump. The 8-member panel awarded Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss $16.2 million per person for claims that Giuliani defamed them, plus $20 million apiece for the emotional suffering they experienced after Giuliani's allegations were followed by threats, harassment, and professional consequences. The judge in the case had previously ruled that Giuliani did defame the 2 workers. And finally, House Democrats called on Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas to recuse himself from the case examining whether Donald Trump is absolutely immune from federal prosecution. Citing the court's new code of conduct guidance on impartiality, Democrats told Thomas that his wife's activities after the 2020 election raise serious questions about his ability to remain impartial in cases that involve the last presidential election and the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. Ginny Thomas pressed the Trump White House and lawmakers to overturn Biden's 2020 election victory. She exchanged more than 24 text messages with Mark Meadows to pursue overturning the election in the weeks after the vote. She attended the Stop the Steal rally before the January 6th Capitol attack, and she told the House committee investigating that attack that she still believed the 2020 election was stolen. Separately, Clarence Thomas complained about his salary to a Republican lawmaker in January 2000, almost a decade into his tenure, and suggested that if Congress didn't increase salaries, 1 or more justices will leave soon. A month prior, Thomas borrowed $267,000 from a friend to buy a high-end RV. That's all for now. You can find the links and sources for all of these stories on the main website. And as always, visit whatthefjusthappenedtoday.com for the latest news and headlines. Until next time, I'm Joe Anditas.